Good evening, guys. Welcome back to the channel, Dan Royd's Barbados Travel Vlogs on YouTube and Dan Royd More on Facebook. I'm here again at Grande Signal Station, which is in the parish of St. George, in the center of the island, and I'm at the bottom terrace at the Grande Signal Station, overlooking the St. George Valley and the southern part of the island at the moment. And again, I'm 700 feet above sea level, looking straight down towards St. George Parish Church. You can see the St. George Parish Church over here, which is the second oldest place of worship in Barbados. It was built in 1641 and rebuilt in 1784. And it is less Georgian. It is more Georgian and less Gothic. And in St. George Parish Church, you can come across the resurrection painting, which is just behind the altar. And the tower was fitted with electric bells. The original church bell was made obsolete in 2003. And the bells can also be played by keyboards from the organ. And it was in 1958 when the parishioners craved for a tower at St. George Parish Church, and they built the tower to the western side. Most Anglican churches here in Barbados have the tower to the eastern side, but they have the tower to the western side. You can see the St. George Secondary School in the background, which was opened in 1972. St. George Secondary School is at Constant in St. George, and we can see all around the Dash Valley Road and to the Turnpike, and we can see all around to the Carla Bay area, all on the southwest coast of Barbados. Where you can see the Hilton Hotel, and looking in the western direction now towards Bridgetown, which is the country's capital, where we can see into the Bridgetown port and the water harbour. And this is the section here where you can have your breakfast, lunch, dinner, or any meal. And this is the way down to the signal station where I'll be heading to shortly. And over here you can see Parish of St. Joseph with Chimborazo and Casa Grande. This is the flag of Barbados over here. And we can see all into the Parish of St. George. We can see the Roberts Manufacturing Company at Lower Estate in St. George. And we can see the Bridgetown port and the water harbour. We can even see the gantry cranes in the port. And we can see all into Bridgetown with the central bank. And again, the southwest coast of Barbados with the Carla Bay area. Now heading down to the signal station, the restaurant section over here. This is the section where you can have your breakfast, lunch, or dinner. This is the washroom section here. And this way to the signal station itself. Where you'll be treated to more magnificent views of the island. This is the Grande signal station here itself. This is the walkway back to the restaurant and the bottom terrace. So again, I'm in the parish of St. George, before you forget, and I'm in the center of the island. St. George and St. Thomas has no sea nor coastline in it. And again, St. George is my father's birth parish. For those of you who don't know, the Moors from Ellerton are related to me. And my father is Satchmore, that sings. If you guys know him, and you would have bought his records. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Dan Moore. I am a vlogger from Barbados. This is the signal station and the flag of Barbados as well on top of the signal station. This was the beverage section. Some more magnificent views again. This time we can see, we're looking in the southeasterly direction where we can see into the parish of St. Philip. We can see the mangrove Casa Grande area. Mangrove with the Casa Grande Hotel. The Casa Grande Hotel is owned by Miss Ram Merchandani, who is a Trinidadian businesswoman who has lots of businesses in Barbados. So we are looking into St. Philip. St. Philip is in the southeastern part of the island, and we are looking towards Christchurch on the south coast, where we can see all up to the Grande Adams International Airport, which is in the parish of Christchurch, and we can see all up to Border Hall, which is between St. George and Christchurch, with the new Border Hall Green, the new housing development at Border Hall. And we can see the former Buckley Sugar Factory where my father's mother used to work at Buckley's Plantation, which is just opposite Buckley's factory. Buckley is spelled B-U-L-K-E-L-E-Y. Buckley Sugar Factory closed its doors in 2002, October 2002. And we can see all into the St. George Valley. And again, we are 700 feet above sea level. We can see St. George Church again and the St. George Secondary School. And this is the signal station. Barbados flag. You can see all down to Walkers and all down to the Glebe area. And Charles Road Bridge as well, which is just below the Glebe. Charles Road Bridge is known as the capital of St. George because it is where many of the amenities in the parish are located, such as the petrol station, the petrol station, and the Bridge Supermarket, Chafet Restaurant, and there is also the Discount Hardware and the branch library, the Valley Branch Library, which is just above Charles Road Bridge. I think they may be having a wedding here or something, so tomorrow or something. You can see that the terrace is decorated with wedding attire. So we are 700 feet above sea level. This is all the signal station. Looking down below are the lion which was carved in 1868 by Captain Henry Wilkinson, who was an officer at Grande signal station. The Buckley Sugar Factory again, and we can see all the Fair Pilgrim, which is just behind Border Hall, heading back towards Coral Ridge and the airport site. Fair Pilgrim is in Christchurch. That is where the guy who owns Chafet Halut lives. You all be looking in the westerly direction now towards the Bridgestone Port and the Water Harbour. And we can see the Roberts Manufacturing Company at Lower Estate in St. George. We're looking in this west central direction towards the Warrens area, the Warrens Business and Commercial Area, which is known as the city away from the city. The Warrens area is where businesses are moving out of town into the area. Started from the mid-90s, late 90s into the early 2000s. Businesses started moving out of town into the area. The Warrens area was mainly used for agriculture. Now it is a hub for business here on the island. Warrens is in the center of the island between St. Thomas and St. Michael. We can see on the other side of Warrens, we can see the Chaf Foods, which is the Chafet warehouse, where they store the food and make the food and whatever. And the Frosty's ice cream parlor, which is just next door to Chafet, which is also owned by the same guy who owns Chafet. Chafet is owned by a Trinidadian businessman by the name of Assad John Halut. Even though he's not from Barbados, his restaurants are exclusive to Barbados. Chafet is a Barbadian restaurant, 14 outlets across the island. Chafet is a restaurant similar to Kentucky, but it is exclusive to Barbados. You can see the weather radar station, We're looking centrally now to St. Thomas, which is neighboring parish to St. George. St. Thomas is also in the center. St. Thomas, where we can see up the Grande Heights and Shopper, and we can see lots of Vaucluse, and we can see Jack in the Box Gully and up the Harrison's Cave area and Sturgis. And the cannons here at the signal station. The Grande signal station is $12 per entry per person. To enter this place is $12, but to get to the lane, it is free of cost. It says Grande Signal Station, opened by the Right Honourable John Michael Jeffrey Manningham Adams, Queen's Counsel and Member of Parliament, on the 24th of November 1982, restored by the Barbados National Trust. For those of you who don't know who the Right Honourable John Michael Jeffrey Manningham Adams is, he is the Barbados' second Prime Minister, referred to many Barbadians as Tom Adams. He was the son of Sir Grande Adams, who is a national hero, who the airport is named after, and the school in St. Joseph is named after. He was the Premier of the West Indies, Premier of Barbados, and Prime Minister of the West Indies. And I think he's also the founder of the Barbados Labour Party, if I'm not mistaken. And here is the restoration of Grande Signal Station in 1982. Photos. I look back into the St. George Valley again. A map of Barbados from 1728. And the history of the Victoria Cross. And the military history of Barbados here. And some photos here, the artillery unit, Barbados Volunteers, circa 1904, the first pit. And the 1st Battalion West Indian Regiment on parade at the garrison, circa 1898. British troops in camp at Moncrief, circa 1900. And officers of the 21st Foot, later the Royal Scots Fusiliers in camp at Gun Hill in 1862. The Royal Scots Fusiliers history. The Royal Berkshire Regiment history. And the Conlaw Rangers as well. Another awesome view of the St. George Valley once again from at the window of Grande Signal Station. And this is Prince Edward, who plants the 6th Malacent Street at Grande Signal Station on Sunday, March 1st, 1987. And he revisited Gun Hill on April 29th, 1992. And this is the kitchen section. The equipment that they used to use, the saucepan and the frying pan and so on. And this is the old jacking board, the old iron, the old lamp. Another magnificent view of the St. George Valley. walking up to the top of the signal station now. Tip at the top. Looking towards St. Thomas in the center of the island. We can see the antenna up in Sturgis, St. Thomas, which is the state-owned radio and television station. The antenna is situated at Sturgis in St. Thomas. It is owned by CBC, which is the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation. We can see the Harrison Scape area. We can see the Market Hill, St. George area. There's the Cuthbert Moore Primary School and the farmer Alphabet's plantation and sugar factory, which ceased operation in 1965. It later became the West Indies Records Limited, World, WIRL, which used to produce records for ska music, reggae music, rocksteady music, calypso music, spools music, and soca music, and ballads. So this is all St. Thomas. Alphabet's borders St. Thomas and St. George. A greater part in St. Thomas and the other part is St. George, looking back in a westerly direction towards the Bridgetown Port and the Water Harbor and the Carlisle Bay area on the southwest coast with the Radisson and Hilton Hotel. And you can see the Central Bank in Bridgetown as well. These are the list of signal stations in Barbados: Dover Fort, St. Peter, Grande Hall in St. Peter, Cotton Tower in St. Joseph, Highgate in St. Michael, and Moncrief in St. Philip. So thank you guys for watching now, and have a blessed evening.